I want you to play a game with me. This is a game of predictability. So you're going to need a calculator, grab your iPhone or your cell phone, smartphone, and just have the numbers available. As a general rule, everything that I'm going to do here is simple. I've done this with probably tens of thousands of people. And just because you can do the simple math doesn't mean you're going to get it right now. And it's critical you do your math right. All right, play a game with me. Ready? Pick a number between 1 and 10. If you're doing this with more than just you, don't let anyone else see your number. All right? Double that number. So multiply by 2. Add 8 to the number. So you've got a number, you've doubled it, now you're adding 8. Divide it by 2. Subtract the number you started with. Now, you should have a final number. Whatever that number is, marry it up or match it up with a corresponding letter in the alphabet. So, if you came up with 1, that's your final number, it's A. If you have 2, it's B, and so forth. All right, now all you need to remember is the letter. You have 1 letter. Pick a country in the world that starts with that letter using the English language. A country that starts with that letter. You have going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick, taking the next letter in the alphabet. So you've got a country that starts with the letter you ended up with. Go to the next letter in the alphabet and pick a typical zoo animal that starts with that letter. Animal, not bird, not fish. An animal. English language. You now have a country, next letter in the alphabet. You have an animal in the zoo, not fish, not fowl. And then pick a typical color for that zoo animal. You now have a country, an animal, and a color. Got it? Here are my predictions. Number 1, I'm predicting that you chose Denmark. Number 2, I'm predicting you chose elephant. And number 3, you chose gray. Now, I'm usually right 80 to 90% of the time when I do this in large groups. That doesn't account for if you got something other than a D. So here's what's going on. How did I do it? It's just predictability. It's a numbers game. When you did your numbers, you had to come up with the number 4. If you didn't come up with the number 4, you're automatically disqualified because the math is incorrect. Now, there are very few countries that start with the letter D. Denmark is one of them. Dominican Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of North Korea. I think that's it. Dubai, by the way, is a city, not a country. Elephant is the typical animal. So I have limited opportunity for Denmark, and I didn't give you a lot of time, right? So you normally would have gone to Denmark. It's a default. Again, E, elephant, typically is what people will choose. Now, some of you who will go, he's going to try to get me. I know. So I'm going to be resistant, contrarian to him. I'm going to do something different. Maybe you chose emu or something like that. Okay. And then gray to the elephant. Now, why the charades? Why the game? Very simple. Because you're very predictable in your behavior. If your relationships aren't where you want them to be, if your husband and wife, if your marriage isn't going the way you want it, if your parenting, if your organization, it doesn't matter what it is. There aren't a lot of moving parts here. You're acting maladaptively, most likely. The solution is you, definitely. And it's very predictable as to what you're doing wrong. But by the same token, you can reverse engineer that. It's very predictable going back. There is a protocol here. The protocol is called the Personal Growth Protocol, and it's applicable at home and at work. It works within organizational departments. It works in sales. It works with parenting, and it works with one-on-one relationships. It's predictable where we're going. This isn't really rocket science. It's neuroscience, But the neuroscience is just teaching us that it's not all that complicated to reverse engineer our addictive behaviors into adaptive behaviors and create pathways of good habits, because we're going to create containers that are principle-based. So let's have fun with this. Let's use this protocol as a way to grow and to go from there. Thanks. I'm looking forward to you looking at some more of these videos.